Terrifying new species, discoveries, scientists can't explain. Scientists tell us we've explored maybe 20% of Earth's species. 20%, which means roughly 80% of what's alive on this planet, breathing, hunting, reproducing, we have absolutely no clue about. And every year, researchers go out there and pull back the curtain just a little bit more, and what they find should genuinely keep you up at night. Not in a horror movie kind of way, in a the universe is far weirder than your brain is capable of processing kind of way. 2024 was a particularly wild year for new species. We're talking a snake that's been hiding in plain sight for 10 million years, a ghost shark cruising the ocean floor 8,500 feet below us. Right now, a deep-sea creature that looks like a tiny panda in a Halloween costume, and an entirely new branch of life discovered in a dark abyss between Hawaii and Mexico. Let's get into it. 1. They found a brand new giant snake. Picture this. You're a scientist. You've spent decades studying anacondas. You think you know anacondas. There's the green anaconda, the biggest snake in the world. We've known about it forever, right? Wrong. In February 2024, a paper dropped in the scientific journal Diversity that basically said, hey, that giant snake you thought was one species? It's two, and you've been looking at the second one this whole time without knowing. The new species is called Unexplained, a name pulled from the Carib people of Venezuela, roughly translating to the Great Snake. Fitting. The discovery came after nearly 2 decades of fieldwork, including a 2022 expedition deep into the Ecuadorian Amazon, where researchers from New Mexico Highlands University and the University of Queensland collected tissue samples from both species. The genetics blew everyone's mind. The northern green anaconda and its southern cousin had been evolving separately for 10 million years. 10 million. And yet they look completely identical to the naked eye. We're talking 5.5% genetic difference between the two, which, for reference, is greater than the genetic difference between humans and chimpanzees in some comparisons. How does that happen? How do two animals diverge for 10 million years and still look like twins? Scientists are still working that one out. One of the expedition's researchers, Dutch biologist Freek Vonk, swam alongside a 20-foot, 441-pound female specimen to capture footage. The video went everywhere. It's one thing to read about a snake that big. It's another to watch a guy just casually swimming next to one in murky water. The anaconda's range stretches from Ecuador all the way through Colombia, Venezuela, and into French Guiana, territory that's currently under siege from rampant oil extraction. Scientists are now using these snakes as environmental indicators, measuring the petrochemical contamination in their bodies to understand just how bad the damage is. And it's bad, too. The ghost shark that scientists named after someone's grandmother. In September 2024, New Zealand researchers at the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, NIWA, announced they'd found a new species of ghost shark. Ghost sharks, by the way, are not actual sharks. They're called chimeras, and they're ancient, like embarrassingly ancient. These things were prowling the oceans 300 million years before dinosaurs walked the earth. They're closer to the original template for vertebrate life than almost anything else swimming around today. The new species is called Hariata avia, named by NIWA fisheries scientist Dr. Britt Finucci after her grandmother. Avia means grandmother in Latin. It's a sweet touch for something that looks like it crawled out of a fever dream. The creature has an elongated, narrow, depressed snout, almost like a beak, a long, slender body, massive eyes that stare straight through you, and enormous pectoral fins. It's a chocolate brown color. It's smooth-skinned, no scales. It glides along the ocean floor in complete darkness, 8,500 feet below the surface, hunting crustaceans with that beak-like mouth. Here's what got scientists. They thought this species was already known. It had been lumped in with a globally distributed species, basically assumed to be the same animal found all over the world's oceans. Then, the genetics came back and revealed it was something completely different, a species that had silently evolved entirely separate in the deep waters around Australia and New Zealand, while the scientific community had been filing it under the wrong name for years. The specimens were found in the Chatham Rise, a stretch of ocean floor about 620 miles east of New Zealand's South Island. What makes this genuinely unsettling isn't just the animal itself, it's what it says about how little we actually know about what's down there. The deep ocean floor is harder to explore than the surface of Mars. We have better maps of Teotihuacan. 3. Japan's tiny monster that went viral before scientists even named it. This one started with a diver's camera. In 2017, someone diving near Kume Island off the coast of Okinawa, Japan, saw something that didn't look like it belonged in this dimension. A tiny, translucent creature, less than an inch long, with what appeared to be a visible skeleton inside its body and 2 black spots on its head that looked like a panda's eyes and nose. The photos went on social media, then Japanese TV. The internet collectively lost its mind. Scientists took one look at the viral pictures and said, "We've never seen that before." But formally identifying a species takes time. Proper specimens, DNA analysis, taxonomy papers, peer review. So it took until 2024 for researchers at Hokkaido University to officially declare it a new species, Clavalina ossipandi, the skeleton panda sea squirt. Here's the part that's equal parts fascinating and baffling. Those bones you can see through its transparent body? Not bones, they're blood vessels. Horizontal blood vessels running through the gill structure, visible because the outer tissue is completely see-through. And the panda face, those black dots that give it the eyes and nose? Scientists have no idea why they're there. Researcher Naohiro Hasegawa told Reuters directly, "The black parts on the head that look like a panda's eyes and nose are just a pattern, and we don't really know why the pattern is there." They don't know. A feature visible enough to make this creature go internationally viral is still completely unexplained. It's not camouflage. It would actually make the creature more visible, not less. It's not a mating signal scientists have been able to confirm. It just exists. The creature filters plankton from water at about 66 feet depth, anchored to coral reef surfaces in strong currents. It's colonial, meaning multiple individuals are fused into one shared structure, and it's currently at risk because its coral reef habitat off Okinawa is under threat from climate change. Skeleton panda sea squirt is Japan's newest underwater species, 4. The new branch of life, found in one of the most remote places on Earth between Hawaii and Mexico. There's a stretch of ocean floor called the Clarion-Clipperton Zone. It's about 6 million square kilometers, roughly twice the size of India, sitting around 13,000 feet below the surface in complete, crushing darkness. It's also being eyed by mining companies for the metallic nodules scattered across its floor, potato-sized chunks of nickel, cobalt, and manganese worth trillions of dollars in the green energy economy. Scientists got nervous, and in 2024, they sent researchers to catalog exactly what lives down there before any digging begins. What they found should be mandatory reading for every mining company executive on the planet. 24 new species of deep-sea amphipods, tiny crustaceans, most less than half an inch long, that have been evolving in total isolation thousands of meters below the surface. Some have long, spindly legs, some have compact bodies, some have large claws suggesting they prey on other creatures in the mud. But the headline discovery was this: one of the finds represented an entirely new superfamily. Not a new species, not a new genus, a new superfamily. A branch on the tree of life that no one had ever documented before. To put that in perspective, humans, birds, reptiles, and fish all belong to the same phylum, Chordata. A new superfamily sits just a few levels below that. It's a massive taxonomic distinction. Finding one in 2024 is like discovering a whole new drawer in the cabinet of life that we didn't know existed. Dr. Tammy Horton of the National Oceanography Centre in the UK, co-lead on the project, called it a discovery we'll all remember. The project they're working under is called 1,000 Reasons, a goal to formally describe 1,000 new species from the CCZ by the end of the decade. And here's the stat that should rattle you. Researchers estimate that more than 90% of the species in the CCZ are still unnamed. 90% of the life in one of the most vast environments on Earth is completely unknown to science. Those 24 species weren't found by luck. They were found because someone finally went looking. Which means the question isn't whether more terrifying, fascinating, mind-bending creatures exist in that darkness. It's just How many? Every one of these discoveries tells the same story from a different angle. We are living on a planet we don't fully understand, surrounded by life forms we've never named, some of which have been here for hundreds of millions of years longer than we have. A snake that split into two species while our ancestors were barely proto-apes and still looks the same. A deep-sea shark that predates the dinosaurs, quietly swimming below us. A creature that went viral before science even knew it existed. An entirely new branch of evolutionary life hiding beneath an ocean we want to mine. Scientists estimate fewer than 20% of Earth species have ever been formally documented. We are, quite literally, only just beginning. And what's already out there, these 4 species alone, is enough to make you realize that the scariest thing isn't what we've found, it's what we haven't.